Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Thursday, the 12th of September.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Later on in the podcast, Brad Shields is going to be joining us. The Wellington Lions Storm Week this week. Last night they played against Otago. They won. They have the Shield Challenge this week.
Yeah, he's a weapon, Brad Shields.
Yeah, he is.
You see him on the field. He's got that big... He's got the beard that like all those Argentinian players have.
Yeah, the
big,
creamer.
The big that increases his jaw by about 10.
Yeah, bugger coming up against him twice in 1 week. But he didn't play last night. But yeah, we'll pick his brain on... I don't know if he's won the Shield or not.
No, I don't think he has.
How you go contesting for the Shield in a Storm Week, and I want to know a bit about that Wasps thing because it still confused me that there was a team and then there wasn't a team. Anyway, that's coming up later on. We sort of glossed over it yesterday, but how did you mark 9/11?
By watching the presidential debate.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God. Like that was one of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like I was lolling around laughing in the office.
You were ruffling?
I was ruffling around the office.
Did you LeMayo?
Because some of the shit... I LeMayo'd my ass off. Some of the shit that Trump was saying was probably some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. Like eating cats and dogs. And
they're eating the dogs.
They're getting the cats, eating the pets.
They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. So how do you argue?
And then he's talking about they're aborting babies after they're born.
Yeah.
What?
7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Even sometimes after they're born, that's what I'm hearing. That's what they're doing.
Was Eric Cartman on the debate?
Yeah, I've got to work on my Trump.
No, that's how I marked it.
Yeah. The memes were out of control straight away as well, while the debate was still going on. The most salient point I thought I saw was, if you went into a job interview and said half the shit that he just said then, you'd be escorted out of the building.
I love it. I want him to be president again purely for the comedy.
Yeah.
We don't live in that country, so I don't care.
It's one of my... Yeah.
I do not care. And if he gets voted in, it's on them.
Yeah.
But if they do vote him in, it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I've been walking around asking people, did you know that they were eating dogs and cats over there?
The pets?
Did you hear that?
Just eating the pets. Fuck, it's trying to say the migrants were ravaging Springfield by eating cats and dogs. Anyway, fucking hilarious. Anyway, we don't even delve into politics. That's about as political as we're going to get.
There was another thing that it was like, he clearly thinks that asylum seekers are people who have broken out of asylums.
Oh, he said mental asylum as well. And,
yeah.
Like he was just dropping these bombs. I loved it.
Illegal aliens. It's just tremendous for the memes.
Yeah.
Sticking with America, because we were stuck on an American channel from watching that yesterday. This morning they were playing a sports show.
Yeah.
And one of the topics was the All Whites.
Yeah.
Because they drew 1-1 with Team USA yesterday.
And they described it as one of the luckiest goals in international football.
You got to put yourself in the position though, don't you?
If you haven't seen it, the ball was kind of hacked forward in a classic kind of New Zealand football style. I'm not taking it away from them, but it's usually smash it up to the strikers.
Hoof it away from the backfield.
Yeah, and the defender will look to just clear it. And it hit the face of one of the All Whites and ricocheted off his face, middled it. His face middled it.
Yep.
And back of the net, top corner. And even the keeper, you could see him. He was like, "What the fuck was that?"
What am I supposed to do about that?
But saying that, they kept them, to 1-0 till then. So they played pretty well. Defensively, they played well. They got a lucky goal. It's against the 16th ranked side in the world. Suck on that.
Put themselves in a position. So,
And look, and we know that the All Whites will be at the next World Cup because Oceania get an automatic entry in the next World Cup. And
presumably that's going to be us.
Absolutely going to be us.
Vanuatu tip us up.
Yeah, so we've got to get more practice against these top teams before that World Cup.
And isn't it fitting that we end up drawing the game in quintessential Kiwi style? Hoof it from the backfield and just see what happens.
And something happened.
Yeah. It was a sheepish celebration as well. I've forgotten our man's name.
He kind of did a little bit of a arms, a little bit of a celebration.
He was obviously stoked, but he was like, "Don't put that
He still scored it.
Don't put that on my highlight reel."
Yeah, he still scored a goal against America.
Yeah, so football's coming home is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
It's long and short of all of that. You've done a bit of research on these bloody VR sideline situations.
Oh yeah, so you would have seen, and you can't get away from it on social media. There's those great clips of people sitting in a pub, but it looks like they're behind the goalposts or
sideline.
Yeah, they're sideline at NBA, or they're behind the goalpost during a Chelsea Man United game, and it's just an epic kind of IMAX 360 screen.
Yeah.
And it's just like a basically stacked up with people drinking piss like they're at the ground.
Yeah.
So there's two of these. It's a company called Cosm, which is, they've just raised 250 million US, so $500 million New Zealand dollars, to expand around the world. So they've got two of them at the moment. One's in like near SoFi Stadium. And the arenas are designed by the same guys who designed SoFi in LA. And then there's one in Texas as well.
Of course.
And it's the company, this is great. The company usually supply like, you know, those planetariums, you know, where your kids go and, you know, lie down and you look at the stars and shit.
Yeah, here's Orion's belt.
Yeah. So that's what they usually do. That was their core business, was planetariums, that's what they're called, yeah. And now they've moved into this, and they've like this. Now they're onto a real moneymaker.
Yeah, I can't understand why more like movie theaters don't show games. You know, because people don't go to the movies anymore.
This is specially built though. It's like like a dome. It's like a dome,
like the Sphere, and
but a miniature version just built for sport as well. And they already supply cameras. They've done deals. They're the UFC, so you can be basically next to the cage in USC.
Yeah.
So it's fucking cool. And I've got deals with ESPN, NBC, Fox, TNT, NBA, and the UFC. So they've got all these deals stitched up.
And the ACC.
And the ACC. Yeah, when ringside at the ACC, I don't know why you want to do that.
Mate, we should put that in our studio. It's getting done right now. We should have the little like ringside at the ACC.
So the setup, it's an 87-foot by 55-foot screen. So
can I have that in metric, please?
That's kind of like
20 meters.
40 meters by 25 meters high. So think of a 10-meter high diving board. It's higher than that.
Wow.
So it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
But tickets to go in there and be front row are like $200 US.
And if we did it here in New Zealand, you wouldn't be able to buy a beer and you'd get kicked out if you're too noisy.
I hate to say it, it's never going to happen because each one costs between 80 and 90 million US to build.
Jesus.
Yeah. But they do have like a kind of a sports bar out the back, which has a smaller screen, which only costs $10 to go in.
Oh, right.
So they got little pockets of it.
They're banking on once you're there, you're going to want to go in because you'll see everyone else.
And the LED display you've got is between 8 and 12K in definition. It's like next level. That's why it feels like you're on the ground.
This is the future of watching sport because people don't go to games because you know, you're competing with home and how comfortable that is. But this is like all of the comfort of home without actually having to go and sit in the stadium. Never mind putting a roof on Eden Park. Put one of these next to it.
Well, you think about all the biggest teams in the world, you know, half your games are away. So fans are going to travel. They just go to this bar and it's like you're at the ground anyway. So Cosm, look out for it. They've just, like I say, they've just raised $250 million, which values the company up plus $1 billion US now. So,
can't even fathom that.
And in terms of PR, like it's gone through the roof. I mean, if you haven't been served that ad, and you're a sports fan, and you haven't been served, not the ad, the video of people, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't been served that, then you're not really probably searching the right things.
Well, they've just made it onto New Zealand's #1 sporting podcast 2 years in a row.
That's right. There you go.
For free.
Yeah. There you go. So coming to a town near you, except in New Zealand, will be Cosm and those fucking epic sports bars. I mean, forget full time. That pales in comparison to that. It just shows that if you want to actually have an outstanding sports experience, you're going to have to go to the States or Europe, really. Hopefully they build one in Aussie. Aussies seem like the kind of people that would put one in.
Yeah.
Essentially, imagine watching an NRL game.
Oh.
An NRL game for one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's just basically all those people on Caxton. Put one on Caxton Street.
Yeah.
So you go there. If the game's at Suncorp, you go there. But if it's not, you can still watch it just down the road at the old Cosmo Club or whatever it is. The Cosm Club.
It's Cosm, which is COSM, which is...
Cosm Club.
The Cosm Club.
Go down the Cosm. Yeah.
Maybe we can get a mini version. Maybe we don't need the 25 metre by 50 metre one. Maybe we build a smaller dome.
Look, I didn't want to, but I will talk about it. I go to the gym quite a bit. And at the gym that I go to, there's like a bike class thing where it's got a massive screen that wraps around. Yeah. This thing is enormous. It would probably be about 15, 20 meters long.
Yeah.
And it wraps around. Just bin all the bikes out of there, put seats in and put that on.
Yeah, the issue, not the issue, but the advantage of these guys is they have camera setups already at these grounds. So
yeah, but you just pipe that into...
They have specific cameras.
The bike studio.
Oh, you're saying like we partner with them and just get the feed from the NFL?
Yeah, just get the feed from them.
Oh, okay. I thought you mean like they do it for Super Rugby or cricket or whatever. But
right. No. Chuck an NFL game on in there.
Yeah.
I'll go and watch that. Fuck, leave the bike in. I might get a workout.
I love how emphasis on the word might.
I might. I don't know. I'll jump on it for a laugh, but I'll probably hit the Bears quite seriously.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we can't afford a $500 million stadium, waterfront stadium, I'm happy for ratepayers to pay 80 to 90 million for Cosm Arena.
100%. And then we can watch literally any sport from around the world. They don't have to come here.
And during the day, you get some primary school kids and they can look at some fucking planets and shit.
Yeah, watch Shrek.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then during the evening, just get Lizard and watch sport.
Yeah. It's yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Brad Shields. Well, it's Storm Week for the Wellington Lions and the NPC. They played last night. They play again this weekend. And joining us live from, presumably Wellington, is Brad Shields. Good morning, Brad. How are you, mate? Whereabouts in the country are you?
Yes, I'm comfortable in Wellington at the moment.
Did you head down to Dunedin last night for that game?
No, I didn't. I was glued to my television screen, though. That was a freaking epic sort of back and forth game, you know. It's just, I don't know, it's something about the NPC competition that each game seems to get more and more exciting, you know.
Yeah, and particularly last night, that was such a nail-biter. Like, I didn't really have a dog in the fight, but it was just so back and forth. Disallowed tries, then allowed tries, then a sideline conversion, just about to win it. Then all of a sudden you guys won in the end. How nervous were you watching that one?
Yeah, well, nervous is probably not the right word, but like I was just on the edge of my seat and it's the adrenaline pumping. Like, shit, I could play a game of rugby here, you know. Kind of felt like I was missing out a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, focusing though on this weekend, you would have been pretty stoked that the Mako got up the other week against Hawke's Bay, which means you have a challenge this Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, and obviously pretty cool for the Mako as well to take that shield back to Tasman, the Tasman region. I was almost just as sort of on my edge of my seat as I was on Saturday night as I was last night with that game, as probably was most of Tasman and Hawke's Bay. But, look, it's an awesome opportunity, and that's the one thing that the shield gives the competition is there's a little bit of added, either it's pressure, you know, holding on to it, or a little bit more excitement for teams to challenge for it. So there's not many competitions in the world that sort of have that sort of, or log of wood that we have it throughout the season, which is bloody cool.
Is it tough having it during your Storm Week? Like, if you had to pick a week to not have the Shield Challenge, this would probably be it, because you get 2 games in 1 week. Does that change anything? Or do you think just the fact that the Shield's up for grabs, that'll G the boys up enough?
Yeah, I think the boys will be pretty gigged up, ready to go. Like, we actually, when we had the Shield, I've only ever challenged for the Shield once. In 2014, we lost every single game for Wellington, except for the last one. And that was what we were holding our hopes on, that Hawke's Bay challenge. But now, my second chance. So I don't think, and we obviously had it, we defended it last year through our Storm Week, which was awesome. I think we actually played Tasman on the Wednesday night. So there is an added pressure for the team that's kind of got it. But you kind of like the team that's visiting has got you nothing to lose. You know, you win a game, you try and do everything you possibly can. So it's tough, but I just think come Sunday the boys will be ready to go regardless. I think CD Caleb Delaney will need to put his legs on ice for a few days. We don't care if he doesn't move until Sunday morning, so to make sure he's fresh, ready to go. You know.
I wanted to ask, because neither of you guys have lost yet. I was looking at the standings this morning. Do you ever get like the speed wobbles after you've won so many games in a row? Is there ever like added pressure not to lose that 0 in the loss column?
Yeah, probably more external noise than anything else. Yeah. Bit of a rugby term there, but like, I don't know. We kind of got, I guess, last year, if you look at the way we played, we kind of got those speed wobbles towards the back end of the season. You know, when we played Hawke's Bay in the last round robin, then played them again in the semi-final, and we couldn't quite get over the line. So I suppose there is a little bit of added pressure, but also, brings a little bit of confidence. Like, you look at our squad last night, it just shows the great depth that Wellington's got, and to get a win away from home on a Wednesday night in Otago with, I think we had 5 debutants in the end. So, that's pretty exciting in itself. So it doesn't add too much pressure, but it definitely adds a bit of edge, I suppose.
Yeah, speaking of your squad depth, you've got a pretty stacked squad with Super Rugby players. You've got, am I correct in saying that Ruben Love and the Dr. Proctor is returning this weekend?
Yeah, I read something yesterday. I think All Blacks might have put something out saying who's available to play. So we haven't selected them yet. But maybe if they're available, I think we might give them a decent look in,
That'd be pretty handy off the bench, I reckon. That'd be the Lions' own bomb squad.
That's it, mate. Close the game for the last couple of minutes, I think.
I think it's going to be pretty even this weekend, and my reasoning is, it's a hell week for the Lions with 2 games. But I'm picking the Tasman. Marco may have pushed the boat out in celebrations, you see, and I think they might be on the back foot slightly this week in terms of preparation. So that's why I'm picking that potentially the Shield's going to head back over the Cook Strait, Manaia, much to your disgust.
Yeah, well, because, Brad, I'm from South Canterbury, and I don't know if you've paid much attention to the Heartland over the last few years. South Canterbury haven't lost since pretty much COVID. And so every year the Heartland team gets the challenge for the Shield, and I would love for the Shield to end up back in Heartland. I think it would just be, one, it'd be great for the competition. 2, it'd actually be quite funny to have the Shield just flitting around Heartland, to see all these different teams having it. But this year, South Canterbury couldn't afford to travel to Hawke's Bay. So, but if it stays in Tasman, selfishly, I just want it to stay in the South Island.
Yeah, we'll pony up for a coach. We'll bust them there because I reckon they were just running scared. They didn't want to get a hiding. That's what I'm thinking, Manaia.
But to be fair, Wellington's not much further than Nelson. If
the ferry. Who knows with those inter-islanders these days? They might get stuck in the middle of the straight. But I think it's like on your point, I think it's great that the Heartland gets a challenge for it, and it'd be so awesome if that Shield went down to that division, but you just don't want to be the team that loses to that division. So
that's
a good point. If Tasman did, but they might not have it in the season. Who knows? Yeah,
that's not something you want on your Wikipedia page. Well, while I've got you though, I've got a question. What happened with the Wasps thing over there? I've never been able to wrap my head around it. So they went under. Was that halfway through the season or something? What happened there?
Yeah, it was like 4 games or 5 games into the season. Basically, we got told, halfway through October, I think it was, that basically the administrator said that the club doesn't have any money to pay anyone, so we don't basically have a job. And it was like that weekend we'd played our game, and then they said on the Monday, can you guys all come in? Quite a formal sort of meeting. And the couple of weeks before that, they're all like, it's going to be good. We've got a buyer. We've got this, we've got that. And then got to that Monday, and I was like, something's not right. It's too formal.
Shit.
And then that was it.
It was a hell of a 3 years or so for you, though, because you went over there, you represented England, and then COVID hit, and then you had this. You must have been like, geez, that is like a literal roller coaster.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with your ability or form playing the game of rugby.
Yeah.
We kind of, we reflect back and we don't regret going over there whatsoever. Like, got to do some pretty amazing things. Obviously, international rugby's always been a dream of mine. Probably a little bit frustrating and sour the way it finished. COVID it was the same for everyone, I guess. It kind of just locked everyone away, and we weren't able to do sort of the travelling that we wanted to do. But we got a good, I think, 18 months of just uninterrupted bits and pieces, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating, but at the same time, we made some great friends, and we got to do some amazing things. And yeah, like I say, we don't regret it. It's just a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. Yeah. But look, everything happens for a reason, as people say, and we ended up back in New Zealand and enjoying it so far. I got to travel a little bit through France for 8 months when I was playing over there. So
hell yeah.
There's always, one door closes, another door opens, and who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, totally. And you played for England under Eddie Jones, didn't you? He's a mad bastard, isn't he? Yes. How mad is Eddie Jones?
Oh no, I think I got on really well with him, and I thought he's a really good coach, and he genuinely wants the best for players. But I think sometimes the mental strain, or I think he was a lot harder on his coaches than he was on the players, and not everyone's gonna. It's like anything, you can't always please everybody, and I think he's tickled potentially a couple of people up the wrong way, especially over in Australia. But look, I got on really well with him, and he got the best out of me along with Steve Borthwick and the time I was playing for them. And I think I feel like I've played some pretty good rugby. So from whatever I've had building, he's been pretty good. Obviously, I see now what you guys see in the media, so you can make up your own minds as to what you think.
Yeah, the whole Aussie thing aside, I actually quite love that there was that whole drama going on at the last World Cup. But you hear all these, like some of the stories that you heard. I heard one at the Japan World Cup where he brought out a kiwi fruit and had brought himself a samurai sword, and he cut the kiwi fruit in half with the samurai sword and was like, "That's what we're going to do to the Kiwis tomorrow." Did he do anything like that with you guys?
No, I remember when we played the All Blacks and over in England for the end of season tour, and he'd got life-size cutouts, and he'd put them in all through the hallways of where the meeting rooms and stuff. And there was Aaron Smith, Bodie Barrett, Brodie Retallick. So you got these life-size Brodie Retallicks staring at you every time you get into a meeting. I'm not sure if it's more intimidating or supposed to pump you up, but I think there's been a few of those sort of moments. Everyone's had a sort of interesting run-in or interesting memory or experience with Eddie, that's for sure.
That sounds mildly terrifying. I mean, if I was him, I would place Aaron Smith in the disabled toilet, and you go in there, Jesus! Put him in places, put him in your cupboard or something. Brodie Retallick in your cupboard. Merch coming at you.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. Well, we really appreciate your time. We won't keep you for much longer, Brad, but go well this weekend, and if and when you guys win the Shield, can we have a yarn with you next week?
Yes, yeah. Well, let's get through the game first, and I hope you haven't bloody jinxed us.
Oh, no!
How about we say, regardless of the result?
Yeah, regardless of the result, we'll chat to you next week.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah, good stuff.
of course. Or otherwise, you've got someone to blame it on.
This is true, yeah. This is true.
There's a jinx out there. Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time, bro. Go well.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries. Go the Lions.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
My palms are actually sweating from telling Brad Shields we'd only have him on the show if they won. I really regret that.
And him throwing a curse back at us was, you've just cursed it.
Yeah.
I got a bit of PTSD when he said that, because that's going to come back on me.
Well, the thing is, I know if they lose, and I don't know if they will or not, he's not going to want to. He's not going to want to come back on this show.
No, he's not.
I'm going to be honest. If they win, he's probably not going to want to come back on the show.
And look, Brad, I'm not going to fly to Blenheim and watch that game. Okay, so you're safe. You're safe.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, it is time for yours, please. We've got a bunch of them to get through. First call at yours, please.
I've been absolutely frothing this Manaia versus Cassowary chat, but I'm sorry, mate, you're not going to take this one out. So when cassowaries hunt, they have a talon just like a velociraptor's claw, and it's sharpened on the bottom a little bit, and then what they do is they disembowel you with it. So they attack for the sternum on a roo, and have a Google of it, mate. They can rip you from sternum to balls, one stroke, so your guts are going to be used for garters.
Sternum to nuts.
I copped a lot of hate online, in person, about saying that I could beat a cassowary.
Well, yeah, I know. Let's just say you said you'd beat any bird. Bird.
Yeah.
That's obviously the bird of birds.
I said that there wasn't a bird on God's green earth that could beat me in a fight. And I stand by it. Sign the contract. I have not seen a cassowary stand up for itself and, come back at me.
I think you should start some online beef.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm going at cassowaries worldwide. Fuck yes. Find your biggest and baddest and let's go. And people keep saying exactly what this caller said there, and he's dead right. They disembowel kangaroos and things like that because they got these claws. But the thing is, I'm not just going to stand there with my hands behind my back. I'm aware it's going to try and disembowel me. I'm going to be defending myself. And I'm not saying that I'm going to walk in there and dust it without getting, any injuries myself.
Look, and I'm just going to say that this cassowary is trained to fight men.
Yeah.
And to disembowel men. It's not, you haven't just pulled it from the desert and chucked it in a ring, put some lights on it, because it'll just cower in the corner.
Well, the lights will get too bright for cassowaries, and that's why they'll never beat me in a fight.
No, but this one here has been in a training camp for 2 or 3 years, and we bring dummies out. We bring dummies out, and it just runs at it, attacks it.
I said, out of respect for the cassowary, I'll allow it a 3-month camp. And it can pick the best and brightest from around the worlds of combat sport. I'll probably head over to Morecambe Bay and go jogging with David and Tyson and Joe and them.
And they're like, who are you fighting next?
Yeah,
a fucking cassowary.
A cassowary. The thing is, David probably wouldn't trade with me because he's in Team Cassowary. I'm going to need to bring someone in and tape some knives to their feet to try and simulate fighting a cassowary.
Or just go down K Road and just throw some expletives out, and then people will come at you with high heels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be very similar. Yeah, about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Yep.
All the way through until 8 in the morning sometimes when my bus comes past.
Yep.
I did talk to an animal expert who may or may not live in the same house as me, but for legal reasons will remain nameless, but does work with animals and large birds.
Yes.
About whether I could or not.
Thoughts?
She's not all the way there with me, but she doesn't think it's as ridiculous as most other people do.
Yeah, it's a bird.
It's a bird, man.
It's got a small brain.
It's a bird.
You should be able to outthink it.
That's the thing. And because people keep saying, oh, no, it's just going to scratch the shit out of you. It's like, okay, so owl, yes, owl, but it's not a fight to the owl. It's a fight to the death. And I'll be snapping that thing's neck.
I don't think it'll be scratching you.
What do you think?
I think if it gets hold of you, it's opening you up from sternum to balls.
Yeah, but it's not getting hold of me. It doesn't have arms. You know what I mean? And the other thing about a kangaroo is it's only got tiny wee T-Rex arms. See, I'm keeping it at distance.
Yeah, but then it'll go back and just kick the crap out of you with its big back legs.
That's okay. I'll keep my distance. And then once the problem it's got is it's got 3 weapons and it can only use one of them at any given time. It can kick me, but at that point it's only standing on one leg, or it could kick me with the other leg. The third weapon it's got is its face. So that, I would recommend it doesn't use that, because if I hung my hand out and tried to bite me, I've got its head, and that's game. It might disembowel me, but it'll die before I do. And so, yeah, I think.
What if you die later in hospital?
Then so be it. State funeral, put me on the banknote. Yeah,
You got the W.
Yeah, I got the W. I'll walk out of that. That's what I'm saying. Same argument against the snake. I will die. But I'll walk out of that cage with my hand held.
Swollen and pussing, but in purple.
I'll collapse before I get to the end of the cage. I think we've got another one here on a similar note.
G'day fellas, Josh Ado Lines in the car here. Manaia, I absolutely love your confidence thing you can one out to Cassowary, but you remember at the start of the first Jurassic Park when Sam Neill has to put that little Oompa Loompa in his place for talking shit about velociraptors? I feel like he needs to have a similar chat to you and what a cassowary would do to leave your entrails and all the KFC you had for lunch all over the fucking floor. So, I don't think it'd be pretty, mate. Anyway, hooroo.
Do you know what? Both those callers had a slight Australian twang to them, because I think both of them are Aussies going, you're a fucking lunatic, mate.
Yeah,
there's no way. It's like, you've come in with this Kiwi, our flightless birds are just fat and lazy, and now you're talking smack to one of the most dangerous birds in the world, and Aussies are like, you're dreaming, mate.
Just off the back of, I've seen a wicker before.
I'm like, back of.
Oh, so it's just a big wicker? Yeah, I'll waste it. They're like, no.
It's a big wicker.
It's a small dinosaur. I love to leave my guts and all the KFC I had for lunch. Yeah, fuck you. We got another caller here. Yours, please.
When we're talking about the biggest animal you could fight, are we talking weight? Or are we talking size, as in height?
I think weight.
Because I reckon a tortoise would weigh quite a bit. But you could probably flip it. Like 100 kilos at least, a tortoise, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what?
I think that's my new answer.
A tortoise.
Yeah, what's the biggest animal you can beat in a fight? I reckon it's a Galapagos tortoise.
But you know what? I don't know if you'd be able to, because you're going to have to wait for its head to come out and just jab its head.
No. He said flip it over on its back.
And what are you going to do? Pound its belly?
Wait.
But these are 12 rounds at 3 minutes.
No, they're not. We never decided that.
Oh, is it just a fight to the death?
It's a fight to the fucking death.
So you're flipping it over and starving it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm flipping it over and then I'm retreating to my corner where Eugene Beerman's going to pass me various water bottles through the cage.
I thought you flip it over and go on its tummy.
I'd probably give it a whirl just to try and speed the process up a little bit, but I'm with it. Just flip it over and just stop his corner's eventually going to throw the towel.
Well, look, if you're going to do that, then I'm saying a whale shark.
Oh, yeah, obviously any water aquatic
just
animal.
Flop it in the ring and I can sit back and watch it slowly suffocate.
Adam?
Just doing a little Google here. One of the largest of the Galapagos tortoises have weighed up to 400 kgs.
What? You're not flipping that.
I think he's been generous on the hundy just to
You're not
just
flipping
to do
that.
a bit here.
No, but 100 kilo one I could flip. But a 400 kilo would be pretty tough.
And it's just going to retreat its head inside the tortoise shell and just look at you like, go on then. Let's see who can survive.
Yeah, and then we're just sitting down and we're finding out. And I walk out of that cage skinny, looking great.
And this 300-year-old tortoise is going, mate,
I could probably stay here for a couple of years if we're honest with ourselves.
I think the pay-per-view would dip.
Oh, it'll be like
after a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I think you need to put a time limit on it.
Press conference afterwards, I'll be like, look, the tortoise wasn't willing to engage and I can't help that. You know, this is my title. It needs to come and take the title off me. And if all it's going to do is roll around on the back of its shell, who am I? I walk out of there still the champion. Yeah, I think Galapagos tortoise is my answer. But this is why I was saying I reckon I could take out a giraffe. It was because...
No way.
No, because... It's a fight to the death, so there's no time limit. And I reckon because it's a grazing animal, it has to wait, like it has to eat more often than I do. And it's also way bigger.
One swing of that head on your cranium and you are dead.
No, I'll stay busy though. If I stay off centre, you know.
Okay, if that's on pay-per-view, I'm paying for that. I'm paying to see that.
The animal expert that I have talked to, who may or may not live in the same house as me, does not think I can beat a giraffe.
I tend to agree with her.
At all. All right, I think we've got two more. You call it yours, please.
You got yourselves a new studio, you got yourselves a TV show, you're getting all these high-profile guests, you don't commentate the rugby, you don't commentate the cricket, you barely talk about sports anymore. Manaia's got a new rig, you're going to all these lavish industry events. Question, has the ACC gotten too big for its boots?
Yeah, well, look,
when you put it like that,
we have. No, we're commentating the Bledisloe Cup games coming up.
Yeah, that's
and we're
right.
also commentating the Silver Ferns coming out, a series against England. Edina McKighty and Sam Winders are going to be commentating with either myself or Manaia or Keezy.
Yep.
But no, it's true. We've got a TV show, or you have, with Matt Heath and Keezy tonight.
8:30 p.m. Sky Open and Sky Sport 1.
Yep. I saw Michaela Blythe walking around this morning. Luckily, she had a long sleeve top on because I got slightly intimidated by her pythons.
Oh, mate.
They are a couple of pythons she's operating.
She is an Olympic Nick.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
that scar on her forehead, it is starting to heal, but like it is.
That's mean, eh?
Yeah, it's like she got that winning an Olympic gold for our country.
Yeah.
God bless her.
She bled.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
She bled.
Yeah.
From the head for gold.
Yeah. When you put the dossier together, like that man there has, it does seem like we've lost our way. But in my defence, for the amount I talk about going to the gym, my rig is just the same. I still look like shit.
Yeah, it is. It's the gym of diminishing returns. That's what that gym you go to is. And look, hey, what high-profile industry events have we been
Marketing
to?
awards.
Oh yes. We shouldn't have been there, and that was that was not high end. I can give you that.
Again, in our defence, we disgraced ourselves entirely at that event.
We did.
So
we did. We were booing. We were booing winners.
Yeah.
It wasn't great behaviour. But no, the commentary is back. We're not doing the cricket because we're taking a stand.
Yeah, against the Taliban.
Yeah, on that one, and. Rightly so, because it's a shambles and that game is going to be called off.
Who else is going to stand up and fight the Taliban if we're not going to?
Exactly.
And I feel an obligation to do that. So, look, I think it was a fair question. I think it was a hypothetical question. Has the ACC gotten too big for its boots? But thank you for sending it in anyway.
We'll get new boots.
Another caller here. Yours, please.
Answer, yes it has. I still fucking listen though, I've got nothing better to do. Fuck South Canterbury!
Shout out to you. Do we have one more? That's it. All right, let's knock this thing on the head. This thing went pear-shaped from the get-go, but thank you very much for joining us. And again, go and check out ACC does Game of Two Halves live on Sky Open, which is the free Sky channel.
Yep.
If you've got Freeview, if you can watch TV, free-to-air TV on your television at all, you'll find it. Just keep scrolling through. That's on at 8:30 p.m. I'm sure there'll be some sort of on-demand scenario as well.
It definitely will be, but catch that tonight.
Make sure you tune in. We'll have a debrief tomorrow. Might have to get Heath in to talk through, rake over the coals. Anyway, we'll knock this thing on the head. We'll see you tomorrow for a Friday episode of the Agenda Podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.